Season 2 of Wednesday just dropped, and it finally answers one of Nevermore's strangest little mysteries, Slurp. Up until now, he was more rumored than reality, a cryptic presence with no real backstory. But the new episodes crack that open, revealing where he came from, his role inside the school, and how he's tied to a string of experiments led by Dr. Augustus Stonehurst and something called Project Lois. In this breakdown, we'll walk through Slurp's story chronologically, how he first appeared, the events that led to his resurrection, and why he might be either a breakthrough or a problem you really don't want loose in the halls of Nevermore. Everything here comes straight from the new season and the established Wednesday lore, so by the end, you'll see exactly why this character matters more than you think. Slurp wasn't born like your average monster. His story goes way back to the early days of Nevermore Academy, long before Wednesday Addams ever walked its halls. According to the story Ajax tells in episode 1 of season 2, there was once a student unlike the rest. Brilliant, inventive, but with a problem you can't outsmart, a failing heart. Determined to keep himself alive, he built one out of metal, a mechanical heart, advanced enough to keep him going. But perfection is addictive, and the further he chased it, the riskier his experiments became. One day, he tried testing something on a rat. It went wrong badly because he died. It buried him in a specific spot on campus, a place called the Skull Tree. Years later, it became a staple of student ghost stories. It could have ended there, but the mechanical heart didn't stop. Decades later, Pugsley Addams, curious as ever, decided to check out the Skull Tree himself. Only this time, he wasn't just a kid with questions. He had new electrical powers, and without meaning to, he sent a jolt into the ground. What was buried there woke up, a zombie. Pugsley named him Slurp after Eugene tried feeding him honey, which Slurp promptly threw up. Not the most dignified first impression, but it stuck. That was his introduction to Nevermore's current crop of students and the start of a legend. Season 2 makes it clear Slurp isn't just some random accident that crawled out of the dirt. He's directly tied to one of the most powerful and most problematic figures in the series, Dr. Augustus Stonehurst. Long before Project Lois was even a whisper, Stonehurst and the boy who would become Slurp were research partners. There are hints that the mechanical heart wasn't just his invention, it was their invention, probably the first prototype of something Stonehurst planned to perfect. The reasons aren't fully spelled out, but they boil down to a clash of visions. Slurp was proof of an organic result, a living being sustained by experimental tech. Stonehurst wanted something cleaner, marketable, a replicable process that could give ordinary people the powers of outcasts. That obsession became Project Lois, a secret program built to synthesize and sell superhuman abilities. For Stonehurst, Slurp wasn't just inconvenient, he was dangerous. Evidence of a method Stonehurst couldn't control, so the doctor made sure the problem disappeared permanently. Slurp was killed, his skull opened, his body buried, and his name erased from the record until he was little more than an urban legend. Then Pugsley's electric mishap brought him back, only now Slurp was in the middle of something else, regeneration. Every brain he consumed restored fragments of his abilities, his intelligence, and pieces of the person he used to be. Slurp's return throws season 2 into unpredictable territory. He's not following orders, he's not working off a master plan. His motives are messier, survival, a need for answers, and a slow, unsettling climb back into his own memories. Right after coming back, he's involved in a series of high-impact incidents. The death of a driving instructor, his first clear demonstration that memory recovery means eating brains. An attack on a cadet instructor during a school camp. A face-to-face clash with Gomez Addams, proving he's not afraid to take on the story's central players. These aren't random outbursts. Each strike feels targeted, aimed at retrieving specific information or abilities. The pattern is clear. With every victim, Slurp inches closer to remembering who he was and what led to his death. The season's turning point comes when he crosses paths with Stonehurst, now locked up in Willow Hill. Their brief exchange confirms the truth. They share a past. Moments later, Slurp kills him, ending his creator's story and cutting the last direct tie to Project Lois's origins. But killing Stonehurst doesn't end the danger. If anything, it makes things worse. Slurp is now completely free, with enough knowledge to grasp the full scope of the project that tried to erase him. Meanwhile, we learn Stonehurst's daughter, Judy, has been carrying on his work. Her methods are different, but her goal is the same: game. Eliminate threats, keep the experiments alive, which means Slurp, whether he wants it or not, is living proof of what those early experiments could create. And proof has a way of attracting hunters. Slurp's existence raises some uncomfortable questions in the series. He's proof that the line between technology, supernatural abilities, even hybridization can be crossed, and that it was crossed decades before the events we're watching now. If Project Loys is ever restarted or finished, the method used to create Slurp could become the blueprint for something much bigger. Mass production of people with artificial abilities, erasing the natural gap between normies and outcasts. Slurp, for now, stands outside all of it. No loyalty to any group, no chain of command, and unlike the Hide, no need to hide. His mechanical heart still beats, his mind expands with every memory recovered, and his history suggests he's still chasing a specific goal, probably tied to settling the score with what's left of the network that created him and then tried to erase him. For the audience, Slurp's presence in Season 2 works like a narrative warning. If he's just the prototype, the next threats could be far more complex and far more dangerous. Slurp is the missing link between Nevermore's past experiments and the threats it faces now. His story ties the old and the new, showing that supernatural manipulation isn't some recent invention like Judy's work, and that it can be pushed into even darker territory. With the Willow Hill uprising, Judy's escape, and more people learning about Project Lois, both Slurp and Judy now stand as proof of concept. The human outcast barrier isn't just breakable, it's already been broken. His story ties the old and the new, showing that supernatural manipulation isn't some recent invention like Judy's work, and that it can be pushed into even darker territory. With the Willow Hill uprising, Judy's escape, and more people learning about Project Lois, both Slurp and Judy now stand as proof of concept. So now the question is, will Slurp become a central villain in the next seasons, or an unlikely ally against Project Loys? Dangerous, unpredictable, and very much on his own terms. Drop your theory in the comments and let's keep this going. And if you want more deep dives into the new season, hit subscribe and drop a like, because over the next few weeks, we'll be breaking down every mystery Wednesday just dropped. If you want my breakdown of the first 4 episodes, click this video here and I'll see you in a few seconds.